Build your brand through social strength. The PowerHouse Podcast.
You need to evolve in your business or you're screwed, period.
Find what you need to grow your business.
Don't try to do everything because you want to be the hero.
Feel your fire to be a boss.
You want somebody that is really going to give you constructive feedback or look at you and say, you know what, you're being an idiot right now. You need to figure it out.
This is the PowerHouse Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the PowerHouse Podcast. Today we have
Corey,
Travis.
and of course me, Todd. Today we are talking about how to or how not to lead a meeting.
Yes.
Corey, this is your number one not favorite thing.
Number one. Okay, meetings, hate them, think they're a waste of time. Gary Vee said it right. Your meeting's only got to be like 5 to 15 minutes long. Sitting in there for an hour and a half is, I think, stupid. Because you're just wasting time. Like, people are shooting the shit. They're talking about this, talking about the game last, whatever it is. It's just a waste of time. But what I'll tell you what not to do is not be a part of projects or not be a part of stuff. Have a meeting. Have everyone there. Come into that meeting. And basically it becomes a dictatorship, and you do this, when you know nothing about what's going on, or you haven't been involved in the project from A to even B, let alone A to Z. So don't come in there and dictate shit if you don't know what's going on, and you're just like winging it and saying, oh, because I know this, I know that.
I own the business.
I own the business. I know everything. That's not how it works. And that's not going to be, first off, the people are not going to be receptive to that at all. They're going to be shut off, scared to speak up or say any input at all. So I just, being in that experience, it sucks. And I just don't, I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm sitting there. As soon as you come at me like that, and probably most millennials, see ya.
Shut down.
We're shut down. We're tuned out. We don't give two shits about what you're saying.
I'm honest. I come from an area where we don't have a lot of meetings. I mean, martial arts world, we don't do it, go teach classes, how we do it.
Right.
Travis, you come from corporate where that's what you do all day is meet. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your experiences and how you led meetings.
So I might counter Corey's inquisitive remarks on 5 to 10 or 15 minutes, only because you need time to drive collaboration within your team. Meetings shouldn't be that long. I think in corporate, we try to keep them to 50 minutes. If it was a half an hour meeting, we do 25. So we did that so to allow you to get to your next meeting or next phone call or whatever you had next on time, because being on time is important. But back to the meeting piece, we started with a quote. We had a quote that kind of summarized what was going on that week or what have you, kind of inspire folks. And then we had an agenda. We kept it to what was important for that week or what we needed to follow up on from the week before, right? And then we had our action items, because you can meet all day and we can shake our heads and we can look at each other and agree. Yeah. But if we don't promise to get things accomplished in a certain amount of time frame to follow back up, it's to
pointless.
Your point, it's a waste of time, right? And then we always finished on successes, right? Who had successes for the week? And this gave, not only individuals the opportunity to speak up, but also managers over individuals or people that just witness things to highlight folks, because how many people feel good when they get highlighted?
Great, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that drives more positive behavior.
Of course.
And so, that's kind of how we approached it from the corporate side.
I have a question.
Please.
Corporate, right? So I don't know if where you worked had like a lot of like younger people, millennials. I see a lot of startups and young companies that are like really like hip and like modern. The way they handle their meetings are so different that it's like some people don't even need to be in the meeting. They can do it virtually. Like what kind of stuff? Because when I think of corporate, I think of like dry, like
goes off
just
and
super
sleep.
boring.
Yeah.
Like what I mean, like the office type meetings and stuff where it's just like just farting around. Not that they do that, but I'm just saying like, how do you relate to a younger crowd? Because let's face it, most of these entrepreneurs have to hire younger people because of social media. So they can't have some 60-year-old guy running their Instagram. No offense to the 60-year-olds, but.
So I would say probably 25, 30% of the employees that we hired every year were millennials or of a younger generation. Of the 20 people that I managed, 70% of them were not in the office. So I had them all over the country. And so we actually used something called Zoom, and we video conferenced.
Sure.
Again, you try to keep it fun. If you come to a meeting every week with the same old stuff, people are bored. People zoom out. So when you came into our meetings, your phone was off. You weren't allowed to be on instant messenger on your laptop. And we as a team demanded everybody's respect for that 45, 50 minutes or whatever, so that we could get stuff done and then get back to our jobs.
Got it.
And that's how we handled it.
Fair enough. I sort of agree with both of you guys. Corey, I'm all about the 5 and 10 minute meetings, and I think you can have a lot of 5 and 10 minute meetings. I think I have a lot of 5 and 10 minute meetings with you, and you probably have them with me. It's a quick call. It's a quick this or that. I think when you're bringing a group of people together, you're probably going to look at 25 to 50 minutes.
Sure.
And I just think a couple things in meetings is I know where I, in the early days, have faulted was I did all the talking, and then the lowest person in the room didn't want to talk because how can their ideas be
Trump
better
yours.
than mine?
Yep.
One of the best things I've ever seen was or read, I'm not sure if it was GE or what company it was, hands everybody big sticky notes, and everybody writes their ideas on the sticky note and puts it on the wall.
Cool.
And they pull one sticky note off the wall and talk about it. Or you go to the lowest person first and say, you start.
Yep.
And they start talking. And then by the time they get to the highest person in the room, what he probably or what she probably wanted to say,
It's already said.
It's already said.
Yep. That shit works.
It's interesting you said that, Todd, because in my last gig, every week a different person led the meeting, which also gave them experience from a public speaking in front of groups, especially when they had to then go present to higher ups in other places of the company. So hands down, that drives that synergy, and it drives everybody feeling they're a piece of the train and they're helping it move forward.
Well, I think in the book Meetings Suck, one of the things they said is if you are invited to a meeting and you see that meeting doesn't apply to you at all, you can opt out and not go to that. And I think that's huge. That's important.
Dude.
You know, we just did that with Pam. She was like, I don't need to be in this social media stuff. I don't do anything here. And I sit through a couple of meetings for you guys, but I have nothing there. No, don't come.
Do you realize how many meetings I've been into my last job where they're like, hey, come in, you have to be there. I sit in there, literally nothing to do with me. I'd say probably 90% of the meetings that I was in, nothing to do with video. It was just in there just because you had to be.
That's when you were texting me. I get it.
So you know how in life we talk about learning to say no to things? You got to do that no matter what you're doing. And it comes down to meetings. If somebody invites you to a meeting and ask the question, I'm not sure this fits in my schedule. Why is it that you want me there? And if they can't give you something that makes sense, there's concrete, you know what? How about maybe I catch the next one? Unfortunately, today I've got something else to do.
Well, I think final thought for me is I've been in meetings where there's 98 things we talk about. I think if you hit 2 things or 3 things most in a meeting and you get that done, that's huge.
Yeah, keep the subject slow.
And I know I've said it for me, the accountability piece is I don't want someone to say, hey, can you get that done? When can you get that done by? Next week. And you keep asking me, when can I get that done by? You're going to keep getting next week because it's not important.
Yeah.
Like for me, in the meeting piece, I need somebody to call me out if I didn't do my thing, and I'll be like, oh, I'll have it to you in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's part, whether it be a one-on-one meeting where you're like, where is the project you said you were going to have done 2 weeks ago, or in a group. Like I get called. For me, that's what I need in a meeting setting is that piece for the accountability. And, that sometimes that's, to me, tied into that 2 or 3 things that we have to hit.
Agreed.
Well, I think that's also part of knowing your team, too. So
definitely.
Well said.
Cool.
All right. This has been the PowerHouse Podcast, where we build your brand through social strength.
Peace.
Hey, guys. Todd Harris from PowerHouse Marketing. Thanks for listening today. We know you know somebody that could use this information. If you know somebody, please share it with them. See you next time.